again this Friday morning with a breaking news first alert for you. And a Sacramento County pot dispensary is broken into, and right now deputies are trying to find out who did it.
And Sacramento police are investigating a series of burglaries targeting local cannabis distributors.
Sacramento police say there have been more than 50 marijuana business break-ins since August, including at least 6 in the last week. The city requires all cannabis production facilities to have cameras, alarms, and other security in place, but police are urging owners to take more measures to protect their pot.
That's like the fake.
The
We need to
cut.
get one of those, yeah.
You're going to do the Wayne's Rule 5.
All right, what's up, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to episode 3 of the Mango After Hours. And today we're doing a little something different. We're bringing in some industry experts because I told you it's not always just going to be about sell, sell, sell. We also want to bring industry issues and also culture and a little bit of shit talking into these podcasts. There's always a lot of shit talking on the Mango Show. Anyway, today I brought Andrew Haugen from Crime Alert and also Mr. Ryan. And I got to look at the sheet of paper because his last name is a little challenging, but more challenging than mine. It's okay. It's all good. I'm gonna attempt it. That makes it all fun. Dzwigalski.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Pretty good.
We'll just go with that. That's cool.
Not bad for.
I said Dishwitz.
If it's right here on the screen, yeah. Spell it.
All right. So anyway, today for the show, we're going to discuss a big industry issue, especially in the state of California, where there's a lot of robberies in the industry, in the cannabis industry. It seems like we're a target for thieves. They come out from Oakland, and it's really a more of a urban area issue where they come and attempt to rob cultivation spaces, dispensaries, distro vans, and who else to bring on the show than a person that lives this life, because he runs by the best, if not one of the best, if not the best, crime security companies here in the state of California. They do work all over the country, and I think even worldwide. You've done a couple of jobs.
Yep. Thank you.
So Andrew, tell us a little bit about you, and you got into this, and a little bit about you.
Yeah, a little bit about myself. Obviously, I was family business. Pops has been doing this for 31 years. I'm one of 5 kids, so I got to come in and support the family. Mm-hmm. The only one of the 5 kids working for the family. Keep in mind.
And I heard it was a rocky start. I've heard the stories.
Yeah, no, it's fun. It's fun. It's always fun working for family.
I hear you.
It is.
Just like I have a son, and he's in my industry. We're in the industry, and we hold the kids up to a higher standard because we don't want to seem like they got special treatment. So
it makes you better.
I agree with you. I agree with you.
I think tough love is the best love.
Mm-hmm.
I've definitely observed that around the office.
Yeah, and I met Pops, and he's a tough dude. Tough dude.
Challenges.
Biggest heart.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
Hard.
but he's
no
tough.
doubt.
Straight business.
Straight business.
Got to be that straight Israeli, blood.
Oh, dude. It's all day. It never stops. Like my whole childhood, working in the alarm industry, he would get calls at 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, and back in the day it was the house phone, so it'd wake all the kids up, and we knew. And then sometimes he'd throw us in the car and we go to a break-in.
Insane.
Cool.
Wow,
Insane.
that's crazy.
Okay, that's
Yeah,
pretty
yeah.
cool. So over 30 years, second generation
Yep.
in the security industry, and then how did we meet?
I don't know, but I kind of regret that day.
Why? That bad, huh?
I'm just messing with you.
That bad.
I'm pretty sure it was Josh and Garrett over there down the street from you, and then Wayne. I knew Wayne beforehand, and then I met you.
Contractor.
Yeah.
Okay.
I met you super quick, the first intro, and then I was like, I don't know what's gonna happen with him, And then I had you come into the office, and I brought the big guns in. I did bring Pops in.
Yeah, there's the big guns. That's
Yeah.
the big guns.
Yeah.
So I think going back now, I think I met you through Jackpot, Josh and Garrett over at Morrison Creek with that City of Terps, Andrew.
Yep.
Andrew.
Yep.
And I guess they told you that some dude from Florida's coming here to
Yeah.
to
What
build
was that? 4 years ago? 5 years ago?
4 years ago. Yeah.
5 years ago?
Yeah, it's been a while. Build a facility and try to sell yourself, and you did a good job. You did a good job. Yeah. Mhm.
Thank you.
So just little bit for the viewers, Andrew specializes in cannabis spaces, and they're very thorough to what they do. They know what equipment to use, the right equipment to use, and they know the legalities of what needs to be done. One of the things that you told me about the regulations for is that you use this UL.
Yeah.
Is that something that we can discuss?
Of course. Okay. So UL is the type of alarm that we install in the city of Sacramento. Mm-hmm. So city of Sacramento and San Jose have UL mercantile installations. So what is UL mercantile installations? It's what we do in banks, jewelry stores, cannabis facilities. Mm-hmm. So there's a certain regulations that UL, and they come out once a year to Sacramento, and they pick 5 or 6 of our locations, and they come and actually inspect our work to make sure it's to their standard. And they add standards every year.
I got you.
So what that is, it's just like, it's a very, very robust alarm system. Mm-hmm. It's not your, wireless alarm system. Everything's tampered. Everything's in conduit. There's certain rules that wire can't be exposed under 8 feet. Every 4 steps inside a facility, minus the grow rooms because of the fans and the flowers, you gotta get a trigger. So motion sensors, door sensors, panics. There's certain regulations in the city of Sacramento, so you have the panics in certain locations. Mm-hmm. And there's redundancy within the alarm. So we have huge backup batteries for all this stuff. So even if power is out, we're operational. So that's the big thing, is having redundancy in the alarm industry. Is
the battery backup or the recording, I think it's like 3 months time, 90 days?
Yeah, the recording is 90 days. So that's a little different than UL. UL is just the alarm.
Okay.
Yeah, UL is just the alarm.
90 days would be like the standard, though, in my opinion.
Yeah, and the 90 days is based off of, from seed to sale. That's what the state of California.
I got you. Yeah. Okay. When we started discussing the spot, obviously I'm new. I was new to all this. Mm-hmm. I came from Florida. I was a trapper back in the day, and then I just didn't realize that. Oh my God, I need all this equipment, and it was a little bit overwhelming, and all the equipment rack and all that kind of stuff, and it was definitely costly. But I can definitely understand why it's costly, because number one, I guess call it a drug or whatever it is. It's got to get documented by the government.
Yep.
And they got to check you out. But it's also about securing the product and also loss prevention. So it's not only just for security, but also the security system works for loss prevention, which I believe is Ryan's specialty. Right?
Yes, it is.
Okay, and tell us a little about yourself, Ryan.
Yeah, sure. So I got into loss prevention like most people in my industry, just kind of like fell into it. I was in college, and Target came to one of my classes and said, "Hey, you want to do loss prevention?" And I got the job. I was told like a year later because I was the biggest one that applied. So that's how I got into my lifetime career of the last 23 years.
Yeah.
Most recently, I was the head of loss prevention security for 3+ years over at Cookies.
Okay.
Now currently with the Frank, Andrew, Haugen, whatever you want to say, Crime Alert Security, family business. So I was a client of theirs for 3 years and had a great relationship with them, and I love the people, and I came pretty close with Andrew's dad, Alon, and he offered me a job here. So we're starting a loss prevention consulting wing of the company. So people that, have a need to have that expertise but don't necessarily like have the money to have someone in-house. So I'm hoping to fill that gap. And it's all new to me, but I'm excited.
Cool. So you guys do kind of like consulting, because that's one thing that obviously we've used our cameras at our spot is I think I got some of the best equipment. When you guys installed the equipment, it was just like regular camera just to see what room you can go into or who goes into the room, so you can identify, hey, this was the last person that go into the room or first person to go into the room. This is what happened. But you installed a 360 camera in my mom room. And that thing was badass. A 360 or 180?
180.
Not 360, a 180. And when I seen that camera, I'm like, dude, like, how come I didn't get that in all the rest of them? Because I love that camera. That camera gives you a wide angle of the whole room. So not only can you see somebody going into the room, but you can actually see where your workers are at. See if they're standing around, if they're just lollygagging, if they're doing something wrong, or an accident. An accident, which is also another aspect of this security system.
Honestly, in my career, I've seen where people take inventory, they track their losses and all that stuff, but the total amount of inventory lost for a whole year can't even equal the liability of like one customer tripping outside your store. Costs you millions of dollars, but if you have, a camera in the right spot, you can see exactly what happened.
Funny that you say that, because it was, as a matter of fact, today, I walked in the facility and they showed me one of these lights that you need in every room in case that the power goes out.
Oh yeah.
The lights pop on, and one of them fell off, and somebody came to me and said, "Hey, this fell off," and I go, "Wow, who hit it with a ladder?" And they go, "Nobody hit it with a ladder." I go, "What do you mean? It had to fall off somehow? Somebody had to hit it." So then when they showed me it was a trim room, and then I looked up there. Obviously, there's nobody in there with a ladder, but it must, obviously it's a grow operation. There's a lot of vibration. There's a lot of moving parts.
Oh, yeah.
ACs, dehumidifiers, and they vibrate. So it must have vibrated this fixture loose, and it fell. And everybody in the room said it fell on a certain guy's head, and the guy said it didn't fall off his head. So I automatically said, "Go to the videos. Go to the videos." And it's a trim room. For those that you guys don't know, a trim room has a lot of cameras. Because it's like Ryan says, loss prevention. The dry rooms and the trim rooms where you have product that is ready for sale, there's extremely amount of cameras. There's cameras where they don't even know there's cameras, and you can see every inch of the room from every corner, because we have 180-degree cameras on every wall and the ceiling, so nobody can turn any certain way and pocket any
They
product.
get creative to pocket those nugs.
They try to get creative in the glove
Take
and
the glove
stuff like
off.
that.
Keep it in
Exactly.
the glove.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
The guy who offers to take out the trash all the time. Got to keep it on that guy. You got to keep it on. I mean, this guy's a good worker. He takes out the trash every day. He's
really
happy.
wants to take it out.
Oh, yeah, I'll just take it at
He
the end
comes
of the
back
day.
later and checks it out.
Exactly. Every day, make sure he takes the trash out. So that's
very
the guy you got to
thorough.
keep an eye on for. Anyway, so as we built this place, I come from construction background.
Yeah.
In high-end custom homes.
I know.
Oh
no. I've worked a job with him. He's about to probably tell the story.
Yeah, I told you, you guys had that conduit. I go, you guys ain't putting that conduit like that. You got to spray paint that conduit. I got white walls. I can't just have, all kinds of different, color conduit. I wanted this thing to be a showpiece, because we built this facility as a showroom. My partner's Troll Master and Thinker LED, and we're going to grow cannabis here. We're going to be one of the contenders. But we also use the space to tour people from the city, the state, around the country, and there's people from around the world that come and check out our grow, because we also manufacture and sell equipment to the industry. So the place has got to look good. So I told him, no, we can't just put this pipe up there. You got to paint it, and then all the little clips, the little wall clips, they all got to get painted too. And like I told him, when I built high-end homes, every little outlet, whether it's a plate for an outlet or a plate for a light switch, all the screws, I don't care if you put them this way, but they all got to be that way, or they got to go up and down. They all got to be the same.
It's like when you build like high-end hot rods, they always get all the screws.
Everything is just attention to detail. It doesn't make a difference. The light switch is not going to work any better or any less better, but it's just eye appealing, and stuff like that. So
I wish I knew that about you before I bid the job.
But why?
You told me this whole conduit thing, and I was like, okay, like, this guy's freaking crazy, dude. I don't understand. It's a commercial grow. Like, what's wrong with stainless steel conduit on DPS? Like, no, it has to be white. So what we had to do is we would bend it, screw it all in, take it off, take it outside. I think you would spray paint, or you would paint it white.
What's it called? What's the word that I'm looking for? What's it called? I offered. What's the word that I'm looking for? I offered.
I wasn't gonna do it.
I
wasn't gonna do it.
I offered. You're gonna have to edit that, by the way. I offered to paint it because I wanted it white, and obviously it was a lot of labor. So I say, listen,
it was a lot of labor.
Picturing this happening in my head.
No, it was crazy because you bid a job. Yeah, you bid a job, and you're like, okay, it's gonna take X amount of hours, do this and conduit and this and that. But then you sell the job, and then you start doing the job, and then you meet Alex, and Alex is his own special breed. Like I now call it mango style.
Mango style. I like it.
Like, what do you want? You want mango style, or you just want to get passed by the city and the state? Because there's two different things here. And mango style is just like, I actually learned a lot from you of like how to, work in that high end cultivation space. Like what we need to do to be better visually. Because like, you know, we could throw cameras up on a wall every day of the week, but there's still that kind of, I don't know, class of
Pride.
Yeah, pride of what we do, and like how the wires are coming into the rack and everything's like beautiful. Like I take that super, and like that kudos to my guys.
Yeah.
Like they
Great group of guys too.
They knock that stuff out of the park.
Great group of guys.
Yeah.
Great group of guys. But now that I'm thinking, and I remember that you guys had, you had to cut the pipe, bend it, put it through the hole, adjust it, then take it off.
Take it off. Because take it outside.
Take it outside. I would paint it. Have to let it sit there for about a day and a half. You know, and let it cook, depending on the temperature outside.
It's worth it.
And then you could install it and run your. But
it came out amazing. Like that's huge.
Yeah, I mean it does show well. You know, that's definitely one of the compliments that we get from people going through the facility, for sure. By the looks of my surroundings, you think that you landed on some kind of spaceship. No, what you've actually landed on is a sponsored ad. A sponsored ad by Think LED, the leader in LED technology for indoor cultivation, greenhouse cultivation, inner canopy cultivation, or under canopy cultivation. We are the leaders in spectrum tuning and grouping control. Legacy cultivators use Think LED. Are you building a legacy? So, one of the things that I want to bring up, you know, I brought, you know, when we started talking, that is Sacramento is one of the hotspots in California.
Yep.
And there's a lot of theft here. There's a lot of theft, and me being one of the persons that they try to break in to our facility, and it was interesting because it was right at the beginning. We only had plants in the bedroom.
Did you have plants? It was like the week after your BOP, right?
It was a couple of weeks. It was a couple of weeks.
Okay.
So we had plants in the mom room, in the bedroom, and they were growing. So it was nothing flowering. And then people automatically says, you know, it had to be an inside job. Boy, if it was an inside job, there would have been there a week, 1 or 2 of plants in the mom room because they would have known. So it was definitely not an inside job. So unfortunately, our facilities have to be in some kind of database, and some people get a hold of it, and then they know where we're at, and they try to break in. And Josh, can we put that video up where they try to break into my place? Possible.
The other one, the one with the blow torches.
The blow torches. So while he gets that video up, I'm gonna give you guys a little bit of a background. I think it was like. I think it was like 11 o'clock-ish at nighttime. You know, it was pretty early. Here we go. Okay. So, you know, push pause for a minute. You know, I'm going to give the viewers a little bit of rundown. It's like 11 o'clock at night, maybe 11:30-ish. I don't know if I can see a timestamp on that.
11:42.
11:42.
11:42. 11:42. So I was kind of right about the timeline. And I get a call. And I get quite a bit of calls, you know, at nighttime because, you know, this is a homeless area, and they walk by the sensors and it sets the
video monitoring.
You guys is video monitoring, which is a cool service.
Yeah, we'll talk about that.
It's a cool service. We'll discuss that. So they'll call me sometimes because there'll be like a homeless person kind of hanging out or whatever, and sometimes they jump the fence and then try to get into the dumpster that's just full of sticks and nothing there. You know, leaves from deleafing, which got no value, and they try to think that there's weed in there. So then they'll tell me, hey, do you want to send the cops or whatever? But anyway, so I see, I sleep with my phone on 24 hours a day forever for my life, and there's no difference now. So as soon as I get up and I see crime alert, I start talking to the dispatcher. And then I said, this is crime alert. You know, they're trying to break in. And I go, what are you talking about? Call the cops. Or did you call the cops? Yes, we called the cops. They got blow torches. So as soon as I heard blow torches, I know exactly what's going on. So I'm running around. You know, obviously you're dead asleep. You're kind of running towards the closet because you want to get some shoes on because you don't know what's going to go down. And I'm trying to look for my keys.
But what happened to your keys?
My keys were in a couch, and I couldn't find them. I couldn't find them, and so it took me forever to find my keys. That will never happen again. Yeah, it'll never happen again. Yeah. So it took me a couple extra minutes to get in my truck to get down there, but thankfully, that day the police was closed, and these guys have scanners, and they realize when the cops are coming, and the key to security is deterrence. There's no place that is 100% foolproof. People break into the baddest banks with the biggest, baddest vaults, you know, 3 foot concrete walls and floors, and somehow they break into these places and they steal. But what you got to do is you got you got to deter the thief from coming to your place. You want to push him to the neighbor's place. I mean, that's kind of mean, but you know what I mean? Make my place a little hard to break into. Go to somewhere else that's easier. Go ahead and let's play that let's play that clip. So what you see in here is these guys, they checked out the spot, and then when we played all these videos, they were for about 3 minutes before they even got to the property, and then they come out with these torches and they cut the hinges, and then they think they're going to pull the door off from the hinges from the side when they cut it, because obviously the other side's got locks.
Too many movies.
Little do they know that, you know, if they would have cut those hinges, they wouldn't have been able to pull the door off. But anyway, I was lucky enough that the cops were kind of close that day, and they got through 2.5 hinges, and then they get told that, hey, the cops are coming, stop. And then you'll see this guy like literally cutting the hinges was roughly about 1.5 minutes.
Yeah.
I mean, they are fast.
I mean, at the same time, we're talking down through the loudspeakers. It's a live person.
Correct.
So it's very descriptive. They're calling out, you know, they're calling out what they're wearing. They're calling out the cars. It's a big thing because, you know, 5-10 years ago, it was a pre-recording. And that doesn't do anything.
Right, that doesn't do shit.
It doesn't do
They
shit.
just think, they don't know that.
If you say, hey, you in the black hoodie with the white Suburban, we see you, cops are en route, that adds a whole other factor to what they're doing.
Another level.
Another
Correct.
level.
Another level.
But
so, you know, pause that for a minute. Pause that for a minute.
Look
and
at that.
actually go. Yeah. Perfect timing.
I love that video.
That was perfect timing. So what happened was
Yeah.
the guy was on his last hinge. He was on his last hinge. He was halfway through that hinge, and the guy, his partners or his compadre stepped out of the car and says, hey, we got to go. So then he tried to shut off his acetylene torch, and as he was running back into the car, you can see the flash. They almost, you know, blew themselves up inside that car, and then that would have been a great story.
That would have been a great
That would have been
story.
the greatest.
That would have been
video
the
ever.
greatest. Yeah, that would have been pretty cool. So then they packed it up and they left, and then the cops showed up. I showed up, and then we discussed it. And
a big thing to notice about that is that there's no license plates.
no, they never have. They steal the
never have
cars,
license
or
plates.
they-
They're stolen cars.
stolen
There's
cars.
no license plates. So it's hard. Like, yeah, that's a great. And again, like, we have footage of them turning around, but there's no front license plate. There's no rear license plate. They're masked up. The only way that we're gonna be able to get the jump on these guys is through our AI video monitoring, because you gotta think of it as an additional. Everything is layers.
Correct. And
Everything's layers.
And funny that you say that about layers, because this thing was a blessing for us, kind of in a way. Like I said, it was at the beginning. You know, there was no product in there that was sellable. It was just plants and veg.
Yeah.
But what you know, and when you're building these things, you're spending so much money.
Yeah.
That is like, you know what, let's get operating and stuff like that. And we had the videos, the security monitoring, all this kind of stuff. But after this happened to us, we called you and said, look, you know what, we need you to come out now.
Yep.
What else can we do
Yep.
to set more barriers, more layers, and buy ourselves time? Because at the end of the day, like I was saying before, there's nothing foolproof, but you got to make it harder than the next guy, than the neighbor, and you got to make it so hard that's like, you know what, there's easier targets. So what we did after this is we fenced that door.
Yep. You built that out.
We put concrete, 3,000, 4,000 pound concrete blocks to avoid them ramming the fence and stuff like that. And then we added more cameras to the space.
We added more cameras. We added more speakers.
More speakers.
We added more camera zones on the video monitoring.
And I think we expanded the, what do you call it, the geographic line?
Yep. The strike zones.
The geofencing.
Geofencing strike zones. We pushed them out farther. So now we get a quicker response.
So I think what we did now, like I said, in a way, this was kind of a blessing, because God forbid this would have happened. If I would have been lax and this would have happened to us later, and there would have been, I'm obviously not going to show some of the things that we have done.
Yep.
Because for security purposes. But if you hire, Crime Alert, and you call Andrew, and we'll put up at the end of the show, we'll put up the information, or you can search it yourself on a Google search, Crime Alert Security. He will tell you what else you can do to protect yourself from these guys pulling this door if they cut the hinges, and other stuff that we have done. That like I said, for security purposes, I'm not going to discuss or picture here.
Well, I could tell them how to break into your facility.
Oh yeah, well go ahead, go right ahead and tell them.
This is what you do.
Go ahead.
I know this plan is foolproof. Check this out. First of all, you and me start working at the bank. Doesn't matter the position, okay? Just so long as we get in there, all right? Then we just go there every day.
You're in.
You just, might as well just give them the code too while you're at it.
Yeah, give them the code. It's all good.
You told them.
No, it's crazy.
It kind of goes against everything we're trying to do.
I know,
here,
it's
but-
crazy. It's crazy.
So if you break in, I know it's an inside job. So anyway, layers is a key. Layers is definitely a key. We learned that, like I said, this was a blessing in disguise, and stuff like this happens in my life too. It was like, you know what, this is like a pre-warning. Like, you know what, you weren't secure enough.
Yep.
And now I believe, I think we increased it to about 40 or 60 feet.
Yeah.
If you're within 40 or 60 feet of our building, the video monitoring gets alerted, and then they know, and they call me all the time. Like I said, there's a lot of homeless activity in this area, and I'm very polite to your guys when they call me at night, because sometimes you're groggy or sleepy.
Yeah, they're working the graveyard. I mean, they're doing their thing.
And I make sure that I let them know, like I said, you're not bothering me. Your phone call's more than welcome to me. I appreciate you for doing the graveyard shift, because it's not a job that I would like to do, but they most like it. But they're very nice and accommodating, and then obviously they ask you for the.
You know what's crazy about this is when we did video monitoring for you and the facility, this wasn't a mandate in the city of Sacramento. This was
Correct.
an extra.
Correct. This was extra.
Now it's changed a little bit.
Really interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. This was. I don't know. Now I remember that you say that.
I was like, hey, we should do this. This is why. This is why we should do this.
And it's dumb because, like I said, if you have an alarm, and the alarm's going,
that means they're already inside the facility.
and what is that doing to you? You're at home, and then
So a big thing that we're trying to do now, we want to be a prevention company. We want to know about someone breaking the door before they break the door.
Perfect.
And that's what this AI video monitoring. So there's a big stipulation nowadays in the camera industry that, I feel like just 2025 in a whole, everything is AI.
Okay.
So what they're doing is that they're rebranding simple line crossing and simple analytics on cameras. What we're doing, we're actually shooting AI onto the camera from a secondary hub, and that's eliminating 99% of false alarms. So we have the capability of determining if it's a cat, a dog, a deer, an Amazon driver, a DHL driver. There's over 160 characteristics that we could determine that are actually in front of the camera.
It used to just be for like the pixel changed on the
exactly.
screen.
So like it was
even the lighting changed.
Yeah. So like
was
old school
probably the worst
analytics,
part of
it'd be there's a camera view. You're looking at a camera, and there'd be a line. So we would draw a line on your parking spot, for instance. And once anything crossed that line, it would trip. Now with the AI, it's tripping only on people, cars. It's disregarding cats, dogs, anything. Rain was a big issue back in the day. That's no longer an issue.
Cool.
Yeah. So
It actually makes your workers a little bit more efficient, because if there's a lot of, let's say that I don't know how many, I don't know if there's 10 guys working in the graveyard shift or 2 or 3 or whatever, but if there's a lot of action, whatever it is, it might be spread thin for whatever's going on. So it actually, the call comes through, you're more focused on something that's
100%.
actually a break-in versus just, if you're looking at this, an Amazon driver happened to be working early, it's 4 o'clock in the morning, he's delivering over here. Well, there's something going on in this area, and you're focused on the Amazon driver or the deer or the raccoon, whatever it is that's in front of the camera, then I think is more efficient. So AI is definitely working for you guys
changed
too.
the game for us, because like back in the day when there was rain, you get 2,000 signals from a camera.
Jesus.
So imagine there's one signal in there that's someone taking an acetylene torch and breaking your door. How are they going to catch that?
I had some locations where the false alarms were so rare that when I got that call, it was 100% guarantee that there was something in that. Like, you get that boost of adrenaline because it's that location that you know for sure this is not a false.
Yep.
Because it's that accurate. Yeah, it's pretty.
That is definitely pretty cool.
Accuracy is key.
That is pretty cool. And there was another issue that there was another video where this is a pretty cool video because they all came in full force. There was a gentleman that broke into the facility once again to try to get.
Oh yeah, the dumpster. No,
the dumpster. Yeah, dumpster divers.
Yep.
And now I've gotten used to these dumpster divers. Like I said, we're in an area where it's industrial. There's a railroad.
Just pack it up for them and have them take it out. Maybe save a little bit on the waste.
They don't realize like what you have to go through to waste everything.
Yeah.
You can't smoke
It's like
stuff.
I don't understand, and it's got to be the same guy because they kind of know where to jump through, and they know into what dumpster. To see, like there's that guy, and then like they jump through the dumpster. There's nothing but rock
They'd already
roller
gone
stuff
out
in
of
there.
it.
There's really nothing valuable in there. Trust me, because
Right, yeah.
there's
It's unusable.
It's unusable because if you put something valuable in there and then they find out that it's valuable, they're
Absolutely,
going to
wow.
come back more often.
Cop got there very fast.
Yep. So there's a couple different video
Unless it's
clips
edited,
in
right?
this. So this is like the actual view of our cameras, the high quality, the HD, and then it's gonna flip back to the video monitoring. So this is a little lower megapixel because I don't need the high megapixel to catch these signals. So that's why there's two different video clips. So the cops came super quick.
Love that.
There they are.
Yep. And it's identifying that that's a person. They
Yep.
come in, they run through the space. They make sure that the area is secure.
They
And
did
then,
this because they were already told by
Yeah.
the dispatcher
so we
that there's
called
an
them.
actual person there.
There's
So they're
someone
not just showing
inside.
up like lackadaisical with their flashlights. They're
'Cause
in
this
there
whole
before.
facility is gated in. So anyone inside this facility after the designated hours isn't supposed to be there.
correct.
Yep.
And I'm going to go back on a couple of things that I like about your system is the megaphone.
The megaphones.
The megaphone is dope. I mean, I love that
Yeah,
feature.
it's very loud.
For those that you don't know about this megaphone is okay. So we get a call. I get a call. I get a call from Crime Alert from the guys who are watching the cameras, and I can get they obviously have pre-recorded
We do.
sayings that say, hey, you know what, this is private property. The police has been dispatched.
Yep.
Please leave. Blah blah. They have some different ones that they can say.
It's an action pattern.
In action.
So, if you see someone just loitering, hit the siren, hit the pre-recorded message,
Yeah, it's a real person.
get them to go away.
Right. Levels.
Yeah, there's a real person pressing that button. It's not when you walk in front of the camera like a Ring camera, when you get a notification.
Right.
There's someone actually looking at the camera, pressing a button or text or typing the text or whatever they want to do. But you're special because, we did a recorded message just for you.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
That was cool.
That was pretty cool. And I'm not gonna play or maybe we will. Maybe we will. Maybe we will. No, we won't play it. Okay, we won't play it. We won't play it. But there's definitely some pre-recorded.
Hope you never have to hear
messages.
that message.
Yeah, exactly. And then, but the other cool thing is that I can actually get on the phone, on the camera, live, and send them a message. And
All your employees did not want that feature.
no, they don't. But let me tell you, it's like when this is an industrial area, it is super
It's
quiet
120
at night.
dBs.
It's quiet at night because there's no traffic, and even people that know, like if I'm there late at night, I go, hey, you guys want to hear this? And it scares them, and they
Yeah.
know it's coming.
Yeah.
And they know it's coming.
It makes me jump still.
Yeah, listen to this stuff. And it's pretty loud, and it's intimidating, and it's like, oh my God, there's somebody is really watching me. They know exactly what I'm wearing. They know where I'm
My
at.
location's too early. Just doing a visit, and they're like yelling at me. I'm like, no, look.
Yeah. So that's
call me.
Yeah, that's a pretty cool feature, and then I actually use that a lot because sometimes the people they'll go and use the water, from the fire hydrant.
Oh, yeah.
They use the fire hydrant water, and it sounds kind of mean. I really couldn't care less if they took water, but
No.
they take craps. They leave all their garbage there.
Yeah.
They cut the blanket that's supposed to keep the fire hydrant warm.
Oh, the wrapping?
Warm. No, the big blanket,
Yeah, yeah.
green blanket, in case that it gets down below freezing. What if my place catches on fire and then the pipes are frozen? Stuff like that. So I kind of get on the speaker and then I kick them out.
Have you ever had a fire near your spot?
Right across the street.
That was crazy.
That was the craziest
That was crazy. I
fire.
was driving down the freeway from Rancho, and I look at it, and I'm like, that has to be near, like, all these facilities. And I see on the news, I'm like, holy shit. It's
right across the street. There's a recycling plant. A paper recycling plant and stuff like that. And the place,
cardboard, like, it's
full of
packed.
paper.
$100.
It's packed.
Oh, this place is full of paper. It's middle of summer, and they said that some homeless dude threw a cigarette into a dumpster. That's where it started. It was kind of windy, and let me tell you something. If the wind would have been going the other way, we might have caught on fire because it was that big of a flames. Like, it shut down that part of the city. There was every truck. I mean, it was incredible.
I mean,
It was
that
crazy.
Instagram you posted of you running on the roof.
Yes.
That was crazy.
Because I thought it was. I mean, I want to get a good view at this thing, and plus we were videotaping it. There happened to be a guy there from the news, so it's like, come on up here and video it. But so it was pretty crazy. It was definitely the biggest fire that I've ever seen, and like I said, thank God the gods were with us because the winds were going the opposite way. Another issue that I want to discuss is not just the break-ins, because I know they break into the cultivations and they break into dispensaries,
manufacturing,
labs,
distribution, labs, all aspects of cannabis, all verticals.
But another hot thing that they've been doing nowadays is it's called bipping. For those that you guys that don't know, is they follow cars, and if you happen to stop somewhere, they break your back window and they take whatever you have.
Clean cannabis is no accident. Clean cannabis takes a lot of work. You got to be careful on what kind of medium you bring into your facility. That's why we partnered up with the best medium company out there, Groden.
So if they see they stake out facilities, and whether you have something or not. There was a friend of mine that visited me from Florida, and he was just visiting me, hanging out with me, and we were going to go to my house to grill, and they were staking out our spot. They were staking out our spot, and I went to my house. He went to Nugget to get some steaks. I went to, and because he had a nice car, they followed him to Nugget, and as soon as he went into the Nugget, there was 2 cars that were following him. And
did he know that he was being followed?
No, he didn't have no idea. He had no idea. He was just a friend.
Yeah,
he was just a friend hanging out, visiting.
Yeah.
You want to check out our facility? It's like, what? Let me. I want to come to California and visit you. Nothing to do with anything. He just he's a tree worker and he's got a barber shop. And they followed him to Nugget. They broke his window and they just got his backpack, laptop. I think he had like $1,000 in there.
Yeah, but still,
major, just a vacation, and broken window and stuff like that. So then that was another blessing for me, a warning, a warning that you need to tighten up. So when he got out of Nugget, I'm like, I'm prepping everything, and he hadn't shown up, and he finally calls me after an hour and a half. I'm thinking, dude, what did this do? Is this dude go to Japan to grab Wagyu, because he was getting steaks? So he called me. He goes, I got followed from his facility. I'm like, no way. What are you talking about? He goes, yeah, just my car got broken into. I've been dealing with the cops, and it had to have been from your facility. He goes, anybody see the car? And he goes, yeah, it was this color car. So boom, we went straight to the cameras. And sure enough, shit you not, the color of car that he described was on the camera. So then we started going back to see the actions.
I remember that.
The actions of said car. And then we realized that there was 3 cars involved. 3 cars involved. We identified all 3 cars because they would stay in the park across the street by the paper recycling plant behind container trucks like semis, yes. Yeah. And they would go in the front of our parking lot, because we don't really use that, and they would say car to car talk, and then they would go in the parking lot of our neighbor, and they would kind of talk to each other, and then they would switch. So you couldn't really say, hey, there's this car been out there for this long time. They would move. They were kind of organized in a way. Yeah, you could say that. And I guess that's how they follow. They take turns following people, so it's not just.
That's a crazy skill to have. I worked for the Gap. We did organized retail crime, and we would follow people from mall to mall as they were stealing and just building the case on them. And we took classes with the FBI on how to trail. It's not as easy and straightforward as you think.
No, these guys gotta have cell phones, radios, or something. Hey, I'm gonna drop back. I'm gonna drop back. You take lead, and because it was super organized. But we identified these cars, and then we started looking at the cameras from days before, and we started seeing, hey, these guys been coming out the last couple of days, and we've been blessed that we got a warning to a guy that wasn't, a dispensary or a distribution that wasn't purchasing from us, and stuff like that. So then we tightened up. It's another thing that we tightened up. We got and my facility's pretty freaking secure.
It's a major issue in Sacramento right now. So
it's pretty secure because we got containers for fencing. It's in the back. It's pretty protected, fully fenced. But they were actually going into our neighbor's yard.
Yep. He's
got 300 employees. So it's a lot of cars, and they can kind of blend. So then we went over there and we showed them the videos. They watched the videos, and they got a security guard to monitor their parking lot now. And we got now a shade cloth that covers the fences. They can't see who's coming in, who's coming out. But that's a big issue in
that's the game
Sacramento.
You play, though. That you do one thing, then they figure the thing out.
Try to level up.
Do the next thing. So that's, you just got to stay ahead of it. And
100%.
Get involved, and you can't just set it up once and just sit there for 3 or 4 years. You have to research and be somehow part of the security community in some way, or have someone to inform you. You know?
So, what are some of the things that that you recommend? For anybody that may be going into this industry. That obviously, the first thing I'm going to recommend is that you got to call Crime Alert. Talk to Andrew, and whatever. Like I said, he's very fair. He's not overselling you. Whatever he's trying to tell you is from experience, and you're either going to pay now, or you're going to pay later. And I recommend that you pay now, because
that would be my advice: is do it right now. Do it right the first time, because you will spend more money after it's going to happen. It's going to happen.
Yeah. So it's a catch-22, because it takes a lot of money to build a facility.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it takes a lot of money to secure a facility. And there's certain requirements that are required that will get you past those lines to open up. And, I have to play a very fine line of, consulting as one. This is what I would do. This is what I've seen work. And then also being able to be mindful that there's budgets involved, and the cannabis industry isn't what it was 3-4 years ago.
That's for sure.
It's tough. It's tough.
Every month.
It's tough. And, everything's going up right now, pricing-wise. So, there's that fine line that I have to play. But we build a good, strong system. And if you take my recommendations, or, just stuff that we have seen implemented, because we do the electronic stuff. We do the cameras, the cloud-hosted access control, which is a huge feature, the UL alarm system, networking and stuff like that if you need it. But, there's more in the doors and, creating those layers, because we want time from the first trigger to when PD can arrive on site. That's the big thing. We want to catch them. We want to be there when they're inside.
And it seems like in the last, this happens a lot, but it seems like in the recent months, seems like the police have stepped up their game. It seems like they're catching these guys.
Yeah.
They're catching these guys, which is
huge.
Music to all our ears, because, like I said, everybody looks at it like these guys are dopers. These guys make a lot of money. But
they don't know the industry.
Not true. Like I said, the cost of everything, whether it's construction, monitoring, or every aspect of life has gone up in price. The only thing that hasn't gone up in price is the commodity, which is weed. The prices of pot have actually gone down, and so there's really not that much money in this game anymore. And we got to protect it. And it's a regular job now.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, we're overtaxed and underrepresented. And that kind of sucks, but that's something that hopefully we can change in the future with legislation. See if they can help us out. And you guys seem to have a great relationship, with obviously with all the police departments, because you guys been in this industry for a long time.
Yep.
You're well respected, and you guys actually work for some of the. You guys work for some of the biggest brands.
Yeah, we do.
In the industry,
nationwide.
Yeah, nationwide.
Nationwide.
Because I remember you did some work in Puerto Rico and stuff like that. So you do travel.
Yep.
So if you guys, any other state, I think Massachusetts, you've done some work.
Massachusetts, Florida, Oklahoma, Texas,
Illinois,
Michigan,
Oklahoma City. Oh, you said Oklahoma.
Yeah, all over the United States. Colorado,
Oregon, Portland,
Oregon.
So with loss prevention, tell us a little bit about a little bit more in depth about their specialty that let's say Andrew goes to a job, and he's in the forefront to try to avoid, deter break-ins. You're more into employee inside jobs.
Yeah, they have access to everything. You're entrusting them with hundreds of thousands of dollars, millions of dollars worth of product, and they're here all the time. And sometimes they get bored, they think, and they think about it and they figure it out and they piece it together. So what I specialize in is building loss prevention programs, building a culture of loss prevention to where you create. My whole philosophy with everything, and it can be applied to physical security, is create an impression of control, which means you want your people, and on the outside too, if I do something, I'm going to be caught. So the idea to do it doesn't even formulate in their head. Unfortunately, sometimes they do it, or there's lacking in controls. And then, so a big part of my career, something really is my wheelhouse, is doing employee investigations, then sitting down and talking to them and getting them to tell everything they did. I've been doing it for 20 years. I've been doing it very recently, pretty interesting things. But that's really what I specialize in. Yeah.
Cool. And we did that at the facility. Like I said, we have so many cameras at our spot, and I love the 180-degree cameras. I mean, once I seen the one in the mom room, I said you got to take all the cameras in the other grow rooms, and you got to put those cameras. And I actually found a place where to put the cameras that you took down. I found a place where to put them anyway.
I know.
So I got a lot of cameras. I mean, I got cameras where you didn't even know I got cameras.
Yep.
And
those
but
180s are cool.
The 180s, that's the coolest thing. I think that's the only thing you should sell.
They are one of my
The other ones aren't. The other ones are kind of like directed, but these 180s are pretty sick.
Because like we just want to see from like a compliance standpoint, we want to see who comes into the room and who comes out of the room.
And I agree with that. You guys do, because there's some people like it's expensive to build these places.
And those cameras that you got, they were expensive. So like compliance is what we're trying to strive for first. Let's get you open. Let's get you making money. Let's get you past all these hurdles you have to go through. And then, you know, that 180 camera we installed for you, you fell in love with it.
I loved it.
Because we put it, and I've never even put it in a grow room before yours. It was just like, I was like, oh, this room's kind of weird. Like, we should put this camera in. And we did it, and Alex calls me like, I don't know, like 3-4 months later after the facility's rocking and rolling. He's like, I want all those cameras in every room.
In every room.
I go, but there's no corner mount. He goes, this is what we'll do.
No corner mount, no pitch mount. Yep. This is what we're going to do. I want it right here in this angle because I can see.
I wanted to put them on the ceiling. Like over
we
the
do.
registers.
We do. We have them. We have
directly
them
over the register.
in the ceiling, on the sides.
The dry rooms.
We have them everywhere.
Dry rooms is a place. There's so much product in a dry room. You know,
I think
like
of a dry room as a secondary vault.
They are.
They are.
There's so much product in a dry room that you can't see through a
can't
wall
see
of weed.
in between.
That guy could be back there stuffing his pockets per se, you know, and that's why I don't believe in pockets, and then that's why guys have, you know, scrubs in our place because it's just regimented, you know. It's just plus it's cleaner, but it's just try to keep loss prevention, you know, which is your wheelhouse. But we have in our dry rooms, we have the 180s in every wall. We have the 180s in 360, the fish eye. The fisheye in the sky and several, so we can see through the walls of weed down to where every worker's at, you know, and there's signs.
That's what I would call doing it right.
Yeah, there's signs.
No, it's mango style.
What's up, guys? I'd like to take this time to thank our current sponsors. First and foremost, I would like to thank TrolMaster. TrolMaster is the king of automation. Nothing else like it in the world. It really is the future of intelligent farming. Also, would like to thank Early D, the king of spectrum tuning. High tech, high yields. Last but not least, I'd like to thank Mango Juice. If you ain't juicing, you're losing.
That's what I would call mango style.
Called, baby, mango style. What do you want? You want to get passed by the BOP or you want mango? Because I got you.
Having worked with Andrew for like the last 3 months, he's got like these creative solutions. Like recently there was like a break-in. I won't say where. I know we could show I thought we may show the video. I'm not sure, but he put 2 mag locks on one on the top and one on the bottom, and there's like 4 guys prying at it.
That's a sick video, Josh. Can you?
It's just like I was like, you pull it up out of this. It's just cool.
One with
putting the 180s on the ceiling.
The mag locks, those things are dope too. Those things are super dope.
It didn't get processed in time for this, but we can go offline with it.
I got you.
But yeah, I mean, like there's new, like it's kind of I love my job because I get to like kind of, you know, engineer stuff that I've never seen before.
Really, is engineering.
So like that was a really cool solution that we did, and actually that was kind of like in partnership with those guys because they brought it up and I was like, oh yeah, we could do that. Like we could do that. You might kick your shin on it, but it's possible. And then it works flawlessly. And then like another cool solution we did recently, which I didn't know that, you know, the TrolMaster stuff did, was those photocells. In the grow rooms, because I had a customer that was having issues with lighting. So it was like, I don't know what lights he has, you know, obviously I'm not super in tune with that stuff because I'm the security side and you're my mango, you know, TrolMaster, the whole thing.
Yeah.
So when his lights would malfunction, instead of turning off, they turn on in the middle of the night. So it was ruining his crop. So I was like, all right, well, let's try to figure this out. So I got some photocells, some just normal light photocells, and I hooked them up to our the way that our analytics trigger, but it's not monitored. So all it does it just notifies them. It just gives them a push notification like grow room 6 lights on a schedule. So we set schedules per.
So useful.
Yeah, it's just fun. Like I love being able to like kind of like be creative and kind of like throw stuff at the wall and see if it sticks. And it's been very successful.
It's
like
cool to find customers too that like love
yeah,
us
like
do that
it's
stuff.
and like even like it's a learning process. Like even with Mango, when I sold you those 180s, like dude, we've never done this before, but we're gonna try it. And I think we tested it. I had the guys come out and like remember we were sitting in there and he was holding it up on a ladder and I was like, where do you want it? And you're like, a little more down, a little more down.
Mango
One
style.
thing that we haven't
style.
touched base on those 180s is that you can actually listen. You can listen.
Yeah.
And you can talk
Audio.
through those little cameras, which is another.
Yeah, I actually learned that recently.
Yeah.
People don't know. People don't know. I can hear you talking shit about me.
Well, it's all like so. State of California. So everything's labeled. Like everything inside the facility is audio and visually recorded.
Correct.
So you have to have the proper notification.
Correct. And I have signs. You
have too many signs.
I have signs on my spot that tells you everything. So listen, if
California.
you're, there's
You know
cameras.
what? You know what sign you don't have? My parking spot.
Yeah, we're gonna have to get one for you because you do come by often and
Yeah.
visit.
I love this coming by.
But we do have signs that says you're being actually signs that have says your video recorded. But since we also do, we're gonna hit on that video in a minute. Yeah. Since we also do a lot of video recording because we do promotions for Trollmaster for the Mango Tech store. A lot of our employees might be caught in a video, So they got to sign releases that if you're going to work here, it's okay for you to be on a video, and the video might be shown to the public or be used as a commercial. So they signed that already. And it doesn't matter if it's that camera or a production camera, you're on video. And obviously, if you get caught, you're going to get prosecuted, and arrested, and you sent to jail. Depends on what
You do have that sign.
That's in the document.
I do have that, and I have that sign too.
You have that. He has that
love
sign
that.
in the break
room,
break room.
where everybody
Yep,
clocks
in the
in.
front.
When
That's
you
what I would
clock
call like an impression of control.
in.
Yeah.
Clocks in exactly.
So that goes to what you specialize in.
Yeah,
Yep, exactly.
taking away the opportunities for it
steal.
to
So I think it's super cool that we're creating this whole new vertical within Crime Alert. Like with your expertise and Alon and myself, like I feel like the world is our oyster at this moment, and what you bring to the table, no one knows about in Sacramento.
I appreciate that. I genuinely love what I do, and I love the chess game. I love the battle of the wits when I have to sit down with somebody, and I've been pretty successful doing it. It's just it's one of those things I just love, and building loss prevention programs. And really, what you need is just someone to beat that drum with your people, like to make it important. Have someone that is reputable that can sell it to them. Which I'm always asking Andrew for sales advice because now I'm like thrust into this position where I have to close deals, and I'm starting to
I
realize.
really don't think like it's sales. Like I just have a conversation.
Yeah, but you're good at it. I'm starting to realize though, like
It's
sitting
really not
down and
sales.
interviewing someone and interrogating them and getting
It's
them
the
to
same
tell
thing.
you, it's the same thing.
Same thing.
So I have to kind of reprogram my brain and not interrogate the client, but use it in that
And
way.
instead of interrogating someone, you're just finding out, what number you think you could sell them at. And with Mango, if I knew him before I signed that bid, it would have been way higher. Because that damn pain and conduit, man.
Oh, who
And
was
the
selling
screws.
who? Who was selling
And
who
the
here?
screws.
That's funny. Funny that we're actually standing inside the Mango Tech store with the podcast.
Beautiful,
and
Mango.
Andrew actually did the security in here,
this is
and
awesome. I love this.
and we're actually talking about the 180 camera. And it's this one 180. When after you did a lot of this stuff here, I said there's got to be a place that I put 180 camera.
Mm-hmm.
It's right up behind the cash wrap. From that place,
Great spot.
I can see every corner.
It's crazy.
I want to go watch the recording of this on the camera.
Yeah, we'll show you. We'll show you. It's really cool. You can see the whole facility from one camera.
Yeah.
And there's multiple cameras everywhere.
And
But
since we're talking about the Mango Tech store, this just happened. I don't know. I think it was like 5-6 days ago.
yeah, it's crazy timing.
Yeah, let's play this video from
this just
a couple
happened,
days ago.
Yeah.
It was just a couple of mischievous kids. You see the smoke happening, and
Fire extinguishers.
These kids just happen to get a fire extinguisher, and they're just lollygagging. I mean, they're not breaking in, but they're mischievous, and they just started, fire extinguishing all the cameras around the space. You can see it just.
For no reason.
For no reason whatsoever. They didn't try to break in.
So what'd you do? So once we called you, what was your? So that's the. So
I love watching them run when
There's the
they hear that.
geofence right there.
yeah, that's the geofencing, and keep in mind that pops up in front of a dispatcher within 3 seconds.
correct.
So when Pop started doing this 30 years ago, and he tells this story way better than I do, but like old school analytics were the motion sensors we have inside. They made exterior ones, So we would have motion sensors outside hooked up to an alarm panel. So the motion sensor would see anything. I mean, rain, cats, dogs, tumbleweeds, whatever
Rat,
it was.
whatever.
And then that signal would go to the alarm, which would go to our central station, which then would populate check camera 2. Then the dispatcher would have to pull up the cameras, log in, and then rewind the tape, and then hopefully see something. So let's talk about 3 to 4 minutes.
Response time.
Too late already.
3 to 4 minutes.
They already did
And
their.
now,
they already did their
and
deed.
now we're reacting within 3.
Yeah, no,
which is just unprecedented.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Like by the time they called me, I mean, obviously they said, obviously they, what's it called? They evaluate the issue, the threat, and then obviously these guys didn't. I mean, well, they didn't know because they didn't know they were just trying to, if it was paint or trying to cover the camera
like fire,
to
just the
try to break in,
there,
But obviously they're up to no fucking good. So they called the cops right away.
Yep.
And you guys are pretty good. Yeah, obviously there's people that are thieves, or then there's people that are homeless that are really no cost or no harm. There's no need to call the police.
Right here,
Look at this thing. for no reason.
I love watching them run when they hear the sound because you can't hear the sound and they just
Yeah, no, you can't.
disperse.
So they so they told me. So I'm watching this. I'm rewinding this, and then I see that they're not really trying to break in. They're not active. And I ask them, "Hey, did you call the police?" They go, "Yes, we dispatched the police." And then as I'm watching it, I see the police, coming in, and they came in droves. Like bat out of hell.
They were ripping down this.
Yes.
They were
Yeah,
ripping.
it looks like they're trying to break in or something.
Yeah, they did. So they showed up.
It's a
Yeah,
little weird.
They definitely weird.
It's a little weird.
But it was like I said, there was just
They're like teenagers though. It's just how
What are they doing on the door?
looking at the AC unit or
Oh, is that
something.
the AC unit?
Yeah, looking at the AC unit. Not enough.
I remember
copper for you to make
when
any
that theft was crazy.
The
Like
AC unit,
10
the
years
copper?
ago, the
Yeah.
copper.
Oh yeah.
I had some guy hook up the main to a commercial building and pull it out with like a F-150, like like the big copper main, and pulled the whole thing out.
Oh my God, it's great. I just seen something like that on Instagram. But a couple of dudes in LA huffing
On the paint.
on paint
crazy.
as they're pulling this big, thick old cables, and this Hispanic guy, this Hispanic guy was videotaping them as they're huffing. It's crazy nuts. So. Pretty cool. What else do we need to cover? What else haven't we covered? What do you think the future in cannabis security is? With this AI and all this kind of stuff.
Yeah, so we touched on that a little bit, but the AI is kind of taking over the world in all aspects of it. I think, personally, from just I don't know if alarms are going to be a thing in 10 years. I think it's going to be all cameras. Yeah. Now, there is fail points in cameras, obviously, and alarms are super redundant, so I don't know if it's completely going to go away, but the AI is only going to improve. It's only going to get better.
Yeah, can you imagine 10 years?
Oh, yeah. I don't even know.
You won't even have alarm operators.
We'll be
They'll just
flying
be
in cars,
AI,
maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, super automated. Like the camera is going to be able to detect
Just do it itself.
a real threat.
Yeah.
Be able to call the client, the
Yeah,
customer.
and then it could probably even like our big
police.
thing also is cloud-hosted access control, which you have, and you utilize that system very well. The layers start from the video monitoring, and then it goes to your day-to-day operation. So what the access control does, it limits people from entering certain rooms at certain times. Not everyone should have access to this room. Not everyone should have access to this room, but some people should have access to this room. And the cool thing about our system is that you can control it wherever you are in the world. It's all on your phone. It's all cloud. So you can open a door from your phone if you want to. Not a lot of people have that feature. Only you have that feature, and the managers have that feature. But that's something that, it eliminates. I hate keys.
Yes.
Hate them.
I love the little fob because just like you say, this employee works from Monday through Friday, so there's no reason for him to go to the facility on Saturday or Sunday.
Yeah.
So then he's locked out. Even if he went there, he wouldn't be able to go in.
Yeah.
Or you can also, give certain employees access to certain rooms. Like dry rooms, trim rooms. And there's only certain people that go into those rooms. They don't need to go into the cultivation or vice versa. And you can lock them out of certain rooms at certain times and stuff like that. So I do love the fob.
That kind of goes into the internal, day-to-day operation of how you control the process of your business. And because someone not having access to the dry room, if they're trying to get in there, and you get a notification like, hey, Ryan's trying to get into the dry room. Why is Ryan trying to get into the dry room?
Why is Ryan trying to get into the dry room? Yeah.
And then Ryan has to have a sit down with Ryan.
Yeah,
be an AI version of me.
It'd be an AI. Though.
I think access control in the future will just be the cameras analyze your gate, and when you get to a door, it just opens it for you.
Yeah, the new stuff that's coming around, it's like
Bluetooth.
Bluetooth stuff's coming out right now. There's a couple companies that are doing like, facial stuff, but it's not really there yet. But it will be there. It will.
One of the things from being a Floridian, I came from Florida. Florida is.
But now you're a Californian.
No,
you love tri-tip.
I just love.
It looked like it hurt when he said that.
Yeah, you know what? I love Florida. I like California too. California is a great, beautiful state.
You seem more like a Californian. I just spent a lot of time.
Don't like the way that the government runs the state. And that's just like I said. That's just my personal opinion. Floridian.
Probably not the only one.
And I just don't like I said. I don't like the way the government runs the state. It's a beautiful state, and I think the state has got a lot of potential. And a lot of people have believed in the state because of the way that the government is run. But like I said, that's my opinion. But being from Florida's got different laws, that protect a homeowner, a business owner. That would be great if that was adopted here in California. Like the stand your ground law. There's some kind of dumb petition that they're proposing here in California that I was talking to Josh the other day about. That they say if somebody's attacking you, or is going to attack you, and you can actually walk away or run away. That and I think he's going to put it on the screen. If you can, I can't believe they're petitioning this. If you're being attacked, by a guy on a knife, right? And he's coming at you with a knife, and let's say you shoot him. If you could have walked away, run away from that, you're going to get charged for murder. When this guy's charging you with a knife, because you could have ran away. I mean, dude, the dude's coming at me with a knife. I'm going to shoot him. In Florida, you can shoot somebody through the door if they're on the other side of the door and they're threatening you.
Who's going to think of the law, though, in the moment,
Exactly. I mean, you're threatened for your life. But so I just don't agree with a lot of the stuff here in California. Another thing that I'm going to touch on that I know you might not be able to touch on is like the police know where these cannabis places are at, where the hubs. I just wish that the police would build these, what do they call it, satellite offices or satellite stations in this heavily popularized area where there's cannabis grows for our protection. We pay taxes, and they look at us, I guess, they look at us as criminals, or dopers or weed dudes or whatever. We make a lot of money, but we pay a heavy tax. And I wish that the police departments would install satellite stations near our spots, because then it would deter. Once again, we're talking about deterring and layers. They know that there's no police stations in this area, so response time, even though response times, are decent, sometimes it takes a little bit longer. But if they know that there is a satellite station, within a minute and a half, 2 minutes away, be a lot less likely for them to come and try to rob us, because it's just not worth it. So
like the big thing with response times is now that the video monitoring is in place, we can actually say when we're dispatching that it's a verified active burglary. So that goes up the chain.
It goes up the chain.
Yeah,
I think that's what happened when they came to my spot.
Yeah, so that's a huge step that we made in the city of Sacramento, was being able to say, hey, we see people breaking the front door. We see people in masks. We see people with crowbars. This is active. This is what's going on. And that goes up the pecking order.
And that's what's pretty cool, that you guys, your dad and you've been in this for a long time, and you guys got a great relationship with the police department, and you guys sit down together and discuss the issues that we have, or that anybody has in the industry, or any business.
Yeah.
And you guys tell them, hey, you know what, we're upgrading our equipment. It's not just a false alarm that comes in. We're actually watching these dudes trying to break in. It's a bona fide break in. Please go help these guys. And then the police, hey, if I was a cop, I'd be eager to say, hey, I'm going to go fight crime. There's a guy there. I'm going to be able to catch him. So they're a little bit more apt to.
And one of the most common police calls is like false alarm response. So like when the cops hear, oh, there's an alarm, you know what I mean? Like knowing that it's a real thing, it makes them actually go. But like they probably respond to, dozens of false alarms a night.
Yeah, so that's the whole cry wolf thing.
Yeah.
That's why there's alarm
So
permits.
they're a little more motivated when they know for sure they're about
For
to
sure,
catch some bad guys.
for sure that
you
there's
know?
there's actually somebody there
that's what I do.
who's looking to do damage. So that's got to be more exciting. So I definitely thank you guys for the work that you guys do.
Thank you.
I would definitely recommend you. I've recommended you to a lot of people, and then I hope that this podcast gets aired, and a lot of people see. They see you and they contact you guys and
Appreciate you.
And
thanks, man.
like I said, we're here to educate the public on issues and bring solutions. We don't want to bring up a problem that we don't have a solution for. So if you guys are looking to build a cannabis space, open up a dispensary, or you're looking to up your game in a current space, these are the guys that you guys should call because they've definitely been great to me. They treated me awesome through the whole process, and the technology is there. So definitely look into it. It does do no good to have a shitty camera with shitty pixelation. You can't see a face. You can't see a license plate or whatever. And you go to work the next morning at 7, 8 o'clock in the morning. Your door's down, and your place is broken into, ransacked, everything's stolen, and you go pull up a camera for somebody that's got a stolen car with no tags. What did that do for you? That doesn't work.
Yeah.
You got to be proactive, and you got to set layers, and you just got to make sure that your place is harder to break into than your neighbors. Sounds mean, but that's just what it is.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Cool. That was it.
That was it.
That was it.
How long did we go for?
Hour.